Welcome to our YouTube channel Mathematical Pathshala. In this lecture we are going to discuss IIT JAM 2021 Group Theory Complete Solution, and the questions are quite moderate. If you have grip on basics, then you can attempt all the questions easily. You will not feel difficulty in any question, but if you are not good enough in basics, then you may feel difficulty. So let us begin with the problem number 1. This question is of I think 1 mark. How many elements of the group Z50 have order 10? So number of elements of order 10 in Z50. This question is quite easy question. You know that number of elements of order k in Zn is exactly 5k if k divides n and 0 if k does not divide n. This you know. Here clearly this 10 divides 50. So the number of elements of order 10 will be exactly 5 of 10. That is the number of the natural number which are less than or equal to 10 and are co-prime to 10. So if you find these number, you will get 4 because there are exactly 4 elements: 1, 3, 7 and 9. So these 4 numbers are relatively co-prime to 10, and you can find it in this way also. This is 5 times, which is 2 into 5 into 1 by 2 into 4 by 5. So this is by formula, and this you can easily find because you have only 10 natural numbers. So the correct answer will be 4. Option D is given in my question paper. So the correct option is 4. Now let's come to the next question. This question is of 2 marks, I think. Let G be a finite abelian group of odd order. So what you have given, and this question is a really nice question. We have given order of G is say 2k plus 1, where k is some fixed natural number. So this is of odd order. And this is abelian also. We have given this is abelian group. Option the statement 1, the map f taking from G to G, taking G to G square, that means it is sending G to G square, is a group isomorphism. Group isomorphism means it is a 1-1 homomorphism. So if you know the definition of homomorphism, then this statement is easy for you. Let us verify homomorphism. If you choose AB element, then according to this map, it will go to AB square. That means you are operating AB 2 times, but your group is abelian. So you can replace your BA with AB. Then it is same as AA, BB, which is same as A square, B square, which is same as F of A, F of B. So either you operate your first element, then operate map, or you first the map on A and B and then operate, you are getting the same. This is the meaning of homomorphism. So this is a homomorphism. Now whether this homomorphism is 1-1 or not, for 1-1 you can go with the kernel, because if you go directly, then there is no meaning of the homomorphism. So there is a very nice way for the 1-1. If your kernel is trivial, then your mapping is 1-1. So if you observe your kernel of this homomorphism, this is collection of all G from the domain group whose image say identity. So G belongs to G such that f of G is identity. That means G square is equal to identity. This is nothing but collection of all G from G such that G square is identity. So you are operating G 2 times and you are getting identity. That means order of G must divide 2. That is clear. This is nothing but G belongs to G such that order of G is dividing 2. That means what is the possibility? Order of G is 1 or 2. These are only 2 possibilities. Can order of G will be 2? Can order of G be 2? Why it cannot be 2? Because we have given this order of G is odd, and by Lagrange theorem we know that order of element divides order of group. So if your order of element is 2, then it should divide 2, but it is odd, so 2 cannot divide. So this will say this is nothing but the trivial one. because if order of G is 1 and we know that there is only unique element of order 1 in every group or in any group which is identity. So kernel of F is trivial group. So this mapping is a 1-1 map. So this is an isomorphism. So statement first is true. Let's come to the statement second. Statement second says the product G is varying over G is identity. This is very nice option. In this, how you should think about this? Because we have given the group is abelian and order of G is odd. If order of G is odd, then you can directly say there is no element of order 2. So there does not exist any element of order 2. If you write this product explicitly, you are having this. Say you are having G1, G2, G3 and G2k plus 1 element. Now there is exactly, there is exactly one identity element. So assume without loss of generality, any one is the identity element. So you may assume, say this is your identity element. Now what about the rest element? Rest element will be of order odd, and those must be the order of any element will divide 2k plus 1 by Lagrange theorem. And what we know about the elements of order other than 2, if you are in a finite group, suppose if you choose any element of order 3, then its inverse is also will be of order 3. If you have any element of order 5, then its inverse has order 5. So suppose you are choosing this G2 element, is order of G2 be any odd, which is a possible divisor of 2k plus 1, then there must exist some inverse of this element. So, and this group is abelian. So wherever the inverse is, you can take that inverse to here. This is because of the abelian property. If you lose the abelian property, then this condition may not hold. So wherever the inverse, you can take that inverse here. So that will give you identity. So again, if you take any other element, then that element must have inverse somewhere in this product. So you can take that element with this G3 because your group is abelian. So you can use the commutativity. So if you remove the identity, you are having exactly even number of elements, and every element has inverse. So that element can be operated with that inverse, so that you will get identity. So you can write in this pair. Suppose G1 is G1, G2, G2 inverse, G3, G3 inverse, and G. You are having a 2k or GK inverse. So exactly 2k elements are here and one is identity. So you will get identity. So that is why this option is a very nice option. So this is again true. So first is true, second is true. So option correct will be C. Both the options are true. And इसमें आपको कोई भी हाई लॉजिकल चीज नहीं रखनी. अगर आपको बेसिक्स पता है तो यू कैन अटेम्प्ट दिस क्वेश्चन. Question number 3. This question may create some problem for you in examination for thinking. But if you have studied your basics, if you have studied the quotient group, then this question is easy. Consider the following statement. Statement first is the group Q plus has no proper subgroup of finite index. So you are having this group set of all rationals under addition. Can you give me any subgroup of finite index in this? See, this Q plus is abelian. So every subgroup is going to be a normal subgroup. So you can define the quotient. So suppose, if there exists any H which is a subgroup of Q plus such that the quotient group this Q by H will look like Q plus H, because this Q is with under addition, so H will be under addition. So I can write this Q by H as a Q plus H, where Q varies over Q. This is the representation that you know. This is the quotient group, and this is the collection of all cosets. So you are assuming if there exists an H which is a subgroup of this such that the index is finite, say any number n. That means this Q by H has a cardinality n. You can say this is, and this Q by H is well defined because H is a subgroup of Q plus and Q plus is abelian, so H has to be abelian. In abelian group, every subgroup is normal, so your quotient is well defined. So this order of Q by H, you are assuming n. That means there are exactly n cosets. Now, is it really possible? Because why it is not possible? You choose any arbitrary element of this. Let R be any arbitrary element of this. Then this R will look like some Q plus H for some Q belongs to rational. This be any arbitrary element. So by definition, it will look like this. Now, order of this is n. What do you know about the order? If you have any finite group, say order of G is n, then you take any element and you operate up to the number of order of the group. That means this will definitely give you n times R will be identity. But what is n times R? This is nothing but n times Q plus n times H. And what is the identity of this quotient group? This is always the quotient. And NH will give you exactly H. Because आप identity को कितनी बार भी operate करो, you will get identity. So this is nothing but NQ plus H is equal to H. Now you use the coset theory. You know that two cosets are same. A plus H is equal to B plus H if and only if A minus B belongs to H. So here your B is 0. So you can say this holds if and only if NQ belongs to H. Now, you see this is true for every Q because this R is an arbitrary element. So this R varies arbitrarily whenever this is small q varies arbitrarily. So this q is arbitrary element. Now can I say this? NQ is a subset of H because this is working for every q because this R is arbitrary element. So this NQ is inside H. But what is NQ? Can you think? Can I say this is directly Q? Why it is Q? Because you have a rational and this n is a natural number. अगर आप rational को किसी भी natural से multiply करोगे, your structure is not going to be changed. Your structure will be same. Problem होती if you have rationals. अगर आप किसी irrational से multiply करोगे, then you are having a problem. But if you are multiplying with any rational or any integer, you do not have any problem. So this Q is same as NQ and this is contained in H. That means your H is exactly Q. This is a contradiction. Because if Q is exactly H, then your H is Q. Then this quotient has order 1. You are having only one element which is the identity element. And they are asking has no proper subgroup of finite index. So if you assume that there exists some subgroup with this property, then you will get a contradiction. So there does not exist any proper subgroup of finite index. Either it is whole Q or it does not exist. So this is a true statement. And option B is same with this theory. If you know the quotient group, then this is easy for you. The group C star dot, C star that means C minus 0 with the multiplication has no proper subgroup of finite index. Now you use the similar logic. Suppose if there exists any H, which is a subgroup of C minus 0 and index of this H in C is say some number k. That is you define this C minus 0. This is multiplication, so your H will be under multiplication. So this representation you will have like this, some Z plus H where Z belongs to complex number. Moreover, Z belongs to C minus 0. So this group has order k. That means there exists exactly k coset. Whether this is correct or not. No, this is not correct because the C is under multiplication, so you cannot write here H here plus. So you can take ZH. And this is a group. Why it is a group? Because H is a subgroup of abelian groups. This C star is a abelian group. So this H is a normal. So this quotient group is well defined. So this is ZH such that Z belongs to C minus 0. Now what happened? You use a similar logic. Let us take any arbitrary element, and we know that order of C minus 0 by H is exactly k. Now you choose any arbitrary element. Let ZH be any arbitrary element of this. That means this Z is varying over C minus 0 arbitrarily. So this Z be any non-zero complex number. Now this element and the order of group is k. So if you operate this element k times, you will get identity. So ZH power k, that is, you know the operation on quotient group. So this is going to give you Z power k, H is identity. What is identity? Identity is again H. Now you use the coset theory. You know that AH equal to BH. This is quotient with respect to multiplication. Two cosets are same if and only if AB inverse belongs to H. But here your B inverse is simply 1 because you are having 1 into H. So this will hold if and only if Z power k belongs to H. Can I say complex whole C minus 0 is contained in H? Now this is a very nice argument. If you observe, let T belongs to any non-zero complex number, then you know that this Z power k minus t will definitely have exactly k solutions. This is true on complex field. It is not true in real field, but it is true in complex field. So this will definitely have exactly k solutions. That means you can say this t can be represented as Z power k for some Z belongs to C minus 0. So every t can be represented in this format. But this Z power k is already inside H. So I can say this t belongs to H. And this t is arbitrary element. This implies your C minus 0 is contained in H. That means this is a subgroup of this and this group is contained in this group. That means this is exactly H. So if you take any subgroup, that has to be the C minus 0 because this is contained in C minus 0. So there does not exist any proper subgroup of C minus 0 of finite index. So this is again a true statement. So both the options are true. So correct is D in my question paper. So both first and second both are true. Now question number 4. Which of the following statements is true? This is again of 2 marks. Option 1, exactly half of the even elements in any even order subgroup of S5 must be even permutation. Is it true? Exactly half of the elements in any even order subgroup of S5 must be even permutations. Okay, I will give you the concrete example for this. Let us come to the first option number 2. There exists a cyclic subgroup of S5 of order 6. What do you need to construct a cyclic subgroup of order 6? You need at least one element of order 6. Then you take the generating set of that element. That will give you the cyclic subgroup of order 6. If you know the structure of S5, then this is easy for you. But if you do not know the structure of S5, you just encounter the element of order 6. What is the element of order 6? If you choose this cycle, if you are seeing your symbol as a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are seeing A, B, C, D, E, F, you can choose A, B, C, D, E. So you take any element of this format because this is a 2 disjoint cycles. Length of this cycle is 2, length of this cycle is 3. So order of this element will be the LCM of length of disjoint cycle. So I can say order of this element is nothing but 6. And let me call this element as a sigma element. Now you take the generating set of this. So sigma square, sigma cube, sigma 4, sigma 5, sigma 6 is identity. So this is a subgroup of order 6 and this is a cyclic because this is generated by sigma. So to generate a cyclic subgroup, you need that element of that order in a finite group. So yes, there exists. So option 2 is absolutely correct. Option B is correct. Now let us come to the option 1. Exactly half of the elements in any even order subgroup of S5 must be even permutation. Is it true? Can I take this simple example? You take any 2 cycle. Okay, not 2 cycle. Let us take this cycle 1, 2, 3, because this is an even permutation. Every odd length cycle is an even permutation, that you know. So you take the generating set of this. If you take the generating set of this, you will get 1, 2, 3, then its inverse, then identity element. So this will give you a subgroup of order 3, because this is of 3 order element. So this will give you the subgroup of order 3, and this is a cyclic subgroup. Now this is a subgroup of S5, this is of order 3, this is even permutation, this is even permutation, this is even permutation. Okay, but this is not correct, because this is saying the even order subgroup. So this example will not work. I have to take some even order. Okay, and let us make some other. What about this element? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm choosing this. I'm using these 4 symbols. If I take the subgroup like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, 3. If you know the structure, then this is easy for you. But if you do not know the structure, then it may be little difficult to you. But you can encounter the option B easily. Let us observe this. This is a order 2 element, because LCM of 2, 2 will be 2. So this is a 2 order element. Now, if you operate these 2 elements, you will get this. And this is the only normal subgroup in S4, that you know that, of order 4. So you verify this is a subgroup, this is of 4 order, and every permutation is an even permutation, because every 2 cycle is an odd permutation, and composition of 2 odd function is an even function. So this is even function, this is even, this is even, this is even. So this will contradict your option A. Option 3, any abelian subgroup of S5 is trivial. Any abelian subgroup of S5 is trivial. No, you choose any cyclic subgroup that is abelian. So you choose any cyclic subgroup. Let us take any arbitrary element of order other than 1. You choose order 2 element and take the generating set of this. This is operate 1, 2, then again operate 1, 2, you will get identity. This is an abelian subgroup of S5, which is not the trivial. So option C is false. There exists a normal subgroup of S5 of index 7. Can there be any subgroup of index 7 of S5? See, if there exists a subgroup of S5 with the property that S5 order of this quotient group is 7, then you will definitely say order of S5 upon order of H will be 7. Then order of H will be 120 by 7, because you know the order of S5. Collection of all 1, 1, 1, 2 functions from 5 symbols to 5 symbols. So it has exactly 5 factorial ways. So it has exactly 5 factorial elements. So order of H will be 120 by 7, which is not possible because 7 does not divide 120. So this is not possible. So this is not correct. So option B is the only correct. So let's come to the question number 5. This is again a very nice question. If you try to remember things, you will not be able to do this question in examination. Which of the following statements is true? Option A, this Q by Z under addition is isomorphic to Q by 2Z under addition. See, when I saw this question first time, I got little confused. So what a nice question they have asked. You have never seen this Q by 2Z and you have never thought about this. If you have thought, then your logic is your logical reasoning is good according to me. But if you try to see this Q by Z, can it be isomorphic to Q by 2Z? Because if you try to observe this 2Z, all even integers will be contained in Z. So if you do the quotient, this Q by Z will be contained in q by 2z. That will be contained. Because if z is the larger than this, so if you do the quotient, you will get the reverse. Now, can you give me any iso 1-1-on-2 homomorphism? That is easy, because what is the natural homomorphism in your mind when you think? You create a function from q by z to q by 2z with addition. What is the natural mapping in your mind? Here your elements are of the form x plus z. You can send this element to x plus 2z. This is the natural mapping, will definitely come into your mind. Now let us work with this mapping. Let us claim this is a homomorphism. For homomorphism, let us take any two element, x plus z, y plus z, because the operation is addition, so I am working with the addition. This will be by quotient operation x plus y plus z. It is going to x plus y plus 2z. This 2z is the identity of this, so I can add identity x plus 2z plus y plus 2z. I can write this is nothing but fx plus fy. So either you operate first element, then operate map, or you first operate map on these two elements, then operate those images. You will get same result. So this is a homomorphism. Let's claim with the 1-1-ness, because onto-ness is very easy. You can easily see this map is naturally onto map, because if you take any arbitrary element, you will have a pre-image. Now let us claim with the 1-1. This 1-1 is a very nice again. If you see the kernel of this homomorphism, this is nothing but y plus z, such that f of y plus z is identity, but the identity in this codomain group, it is nothing but 2z. So this is y plus z, such that f of y plus z, it is going to y plus 2z is equal to 2z. Now this is a coset, this is a coset, this is a trivial coset, this is a non-trivial coset. Okay, I do not know whether it is non-trivial or not, but because of this y, I can say this is a non-trivial now. We know that a plus h is equal to b plus h if and only if a minus b belongs to h by quotient group theory. So I can say this is nothing but y plus z, such that y belongs to 2z. But see, y belongs to 2z and your 2z is already contained in z. So if y is contained in 2z, 2z is contained in z, so your y is automatically inside z. If your y is inside z, then z plus z will give you identity. So this is nothing but simple z, and this is the identity element of this. So this kernel f is the trivial subgroup. So this is a trivial, this is a 1-1 homomorphism. So this is a 1-1 homomorphism. Now onto is very easy. This is straightforward. See, if you have problems in onto mapping, then first clear your definition. Then you will be able to see the onto-ness directly sometimes. Not always, but sometimes you will see directly, because this is the direct case. You take any arbitrary element of this. Let say t plus 2z be any arbitrary element of q by 2z. That will definitely look like this, and t is from rational. Then if t is in rational, so your t plus z will be element of this group, and the image of this group will be t plus 2z. So this element has a pre-image, and the pre-image is t plus z. So this mapping is onto. So this q by z is isomorphic to q by 2z. So option A is correct. Now rest options are false. Okay, I will discuss little why the rest options are wrong. If you know the rest 3 options, you can take one if it is difficult for you. Option B says z plus is isomorphic to r plus. See, if two groups are isomorphic, then their cardinalities are same. Z plus is countable, r plus is uncountable, so they cannot be isomorphic. Option 3, q by z is isomorphic to q plus. Why it is not isomorphic? Because q by z has every element of finite order. If you take any element, if you give me any natural number, I will give you the element of that order. Suppose you are saying, give me the element of order 9. So I will tell you take 1 by 9. You operate this 1 by 9 9 times, you will get identity. So this is the element of order 9. Similarly, you can ask me, give me an element of order n. I will give you this 1 by n element. You just operate this 1 by n times, you will get identity. And in Q plus, you do not have element of every finite order. You do not have. Okay, in Q plus you can have, you can have, because if I ask you the element of order 3, then you can take 1 by 3, because 1 by 3 is irrational. And here 1 by 9 means this is 1 by 9 plus z, this is 1 by n plus z. So this argument will not work here. So sorry for the wrong comment. Option 4, if you see, this z plus is isomorphic to Q plus. Again, you can think this z plus is a cyclic group. This Q plus is not cyclic group. This Q plus is not cyclic group. And for option C, I can tell you one more thing. This is little different from your course. This Q by Z and this Q plus has uncountably many subgroups, while your Q by Z does not have uncountably many subgroups. So this is the argument you can use here. But option 1 is easy to prove if you can think of this mapping. So option A will be the best one. And you cannot use the logic I have told you that it was wrong. This Q by Z has element of order of every finite order. Now let's come to the question number 6. This question is easy for you if you have studied the Sylow's theorem. We have covered this topic. Let G be a finite group of order 28. So if you have a group of order 28, so this is 2 square into 7. Assume that G contains a subgroup of order 7. Which of the following statement is or are true? G contains a normal subgroup of order 7. So they are asking only about the 7 order subgroup. So this will be easy if you go with the Sylow. Order of 2 Sylow subgroup. The order of 2 Sylow subgroup will be this will be 2 square, because this is the largest factor of 2 which divides this. Order of 7 SSG, the maximal 7 subgroup. This has order 7 because 7 divides this, but 7 square does not divide this. They are asking the normality of this 7. So I am using this possible number of 7 SSG is equal to 1 plus 7k, such that this 1 plus 7k should divide 28. But this 1 plus 7k never divides the factor of 7. So this should divide 2 square only. Sorry, 2 square, not 2 power 4, 2 square. So this 1 plus 7k divides 2 square. So there is only one possibility that k is 0. Then the possible number of 7 SSG is only 1. Because if you choose k is 1, then 8 will not divide. 8 will exceed 2 square. So the number of 7 SSG is 1. So I am using the argument any P SSG is normal if and only if it is unique. So there exists only one subgroup, so it is unique. So it is unique, it is normal. Option 1, G contains a normal subgroup of order 7, so A is correct. Option B, G contains at least 2 subgroups of order 7. But we have seen there exists only one subgroup of order 7 by using the Sylow's theorem. Option C, G contains a unique subgroup of order 7, so this C is true. Option D, G contains no normal subgroup of order 7, but this is containing. And option B and option 4 you can discard by using a particular example, that is a Z28. If you take the Z28, your option B and option 4 will get discarded. So this is easy only if you know the Sylow's theorem. Otherwise also you can do this problem. But we have covered this in theory, so I can use the argument of Sylow's. Let's come to the question number 7. The number of group homomorphisms from Z4 to S3. तो आपको नंबर ऑफ होमोमॉर्फिज्म काउंट करनी है Z4 to S3. I can use the more basic argument than I have given you in theory lectures. I can use more basic, because you remember that table I find the kernel of this Z4 or the possible normal subgroups, but here I am not finding the possible normal subgroups. Let us use the basic theory. If this is a homomorphism, that we know that if I find the image of a generator, I will get the image of every element. So I just need to find the image of generator only. What is a generator here? 1 is a generator, 3 is a generator. So you can choose any element you want. Either you target this one or you target this 3. That is in your hand. So let us target 1. Suppose f of 1, this will be a member of S3. But what we know about the order of image? We know that order of image divides order of element. The element is 1. So order of f of 1 will divide 4, because order of 1 is 4. So order of f of 1 is dividing 4. So I can say order of f of 1 will be either 1 or 2 or 4. Can it be 4? No, it cannot be 4, because f of 1 is the element of S3 and S3 has order 6. So 4 does not divide 6 by Lagrange theorem. So order of element divides order of group. So this order of f of 1 should divide 6 also. So you take the common divisors of 6. So you are having only 2 divisors which are common. So order of f of 1 will be either 1 or 2. If you choose order of f of 1 is 1, that means this f of 1 is the identity element of this S3. So this f of 1 is nothing but the identity. So if f of 1 is identity, you see f of 2 will be identity, because f of 2 you can write f of 1 plus f, this is, you can see f of 1 plus 1, and you are finding a homomorphism. So you can say this is f of 1 O f of 1, because O is the operation in S3. So if you operate identity and identity, you will get identity. So f2 will be identity, f3 will be identity, f4 will be identity. So this is one homomorphism. Now if order of f of 1 is 2. So what are the elements of order 2 in S3? Let us write the structure of this. This is identity 1 2 1 3 2 3 1 2 3 and 1 3 2. So order of 2 elements are 1 2 1 3 and 2 3. So you have 3 choices. So you take any element. Suppose f of 1 is 1 2 element. Then your f of 2 will be identity, because f of 2 is same as f of 1 O f of 1. So 1 2 O 1 2 will give you identity. Order of 3 will be f of 1 O f of 1 O f of 1. But f of 1 is identity, so f of 1 will be 1 2. So this is 1 2 element. F of 4, this will be identity. F of 4 means f of 0. So this is identity. And the way we are creating this is naturally a homomorphism. Now I have sent 1 to this. You can send 1 to 1 2 or 1 3 or 2 3. So you have 3 choices. This will give you another homomorphism. If you send to 1 3, this is another homomorphism. If you send to 2 3, this is another homomorphism. So you are exactly having 4 homomorphisms. So correct option will be 4. So you are having exactly 4 different homomorphism. This mapping is different. This mapping is different. If you send your one element to 1 2, this is different. 1 to 1 3, this is different. 1 to 2 3, this is different. So you are having 4 distinct homomorphisms. Now let's compute. Let's come to the question number 8. The number of cycles of length 4 in S6. Number of cycles of length 4 in S6. See, if you try to remember things, you may you may commit a problem in your examination, because they are asking the number of cycles of length 4. They are not asking the elements of order 4. Many people I have seen for this question they have computed the total number of elements of order 4, but that is a wrong way. They are not asking the elements of order 4. They are only asking the number of cycles of length 4 in S6. So let us go with the basic. You are having 6 symbols, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you need 4 length cycle. So for 4 length cycle you need only 4 symbols. You choose any 4 symbols. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. You have chosen this. How many ways for choosing 4 symbols from 6 symbols? There are exactly 6 choose 4 ways. This is 6 choose 4. If you are not comfortable with this symbol, you can write this 6C4. Choosing 4 symbols out of 6 symbols, there are exactly 6 choose 4 ways. Now, if you have, suppose you have chosen this cycle, but if you change the position of any element, that will give you a different 4 cycle. Suppose this is a 4 cycle and 1, 3, 2, 4. This is a different cycle. How many cycles will be there? Can you guess? Or can you give me a argument? How many cycles I can make which are different than this and having symbols 1, 2, 3, 4? There is a very nice way. You fix any element and change any position of any element. Suppose I have fixed 1. So you have fixed 1. Now you move 2, 3, 4. Anywhere you move, you will get always a different element. Suppose you have fixed 1, you just change the position of 2 and 3, you will get 3, 2, 4. This is a different element than this. Or you can say this is a different 4 cycle than this. So you fixed any element. Then you change any position of any element. So you can fix any element, and how many elements are remaining? You are having 4 minus 1 element. So you can change your 3 elements anywhere you want. So there are exactly 3 factorial ways, because you are having 2, 3, 4. So you can change, you can put your 2 anywhere you like, you can put your 3 anywhere you like, you can put your 4 anywhere you like. So you are having exactly 6 choose 4, and out of this 4 cycle you fix 1 element and rotate your 3 elements, you will get different kind of elements. So you are having this 6 choose 4 into factorial 3. Let us compute this. This is 6 choose 4, this is 6 into 5, this is 2 factorial into 6. So this is nothing but this will 3, 6, 5 is 30, and this is 90. So you will get exactly 90 elements. See, if you compute the number of elements of order 4, your answer will be different. They are not asking the number of elements of order 4, they are asking the number of 4 length cycles. So this is the way for computing the 4 length cycles. Let's come to the last question of the group theory section of this examination. The number of elements of order 2 in the group S4. So in S4 you need to count the number of elements of order 2. If you have studied in a good manner, you can directly tick 9. But let's see how it comes. You need order 2 elements. So how will order 2 will occur? Let us write the cycle decomposition. Either you choose 2 cycle, or you choose 1 2 cycles. Only this is the possible, because the length of 2 2 will be 2. Sorry, LCM of 2 2 will be 2, or LCM of 2 1 1 will be 2. So these are the possible ways for getting the element of order 2. How many elements of order like this whose cycle decomposition is 2 2? Let's write naturally. This is 1 2 3 4 1 3 2 4 1 4 2 3. There will be exactly 3 elements. 1 2 3 4 1 3 2 4 1 4 2 3. You can see out of 4 symbols you can write only these 3 of this format, 2 2 cycles. Now let us 1 1 2. How many elements you can write in this format? So you just need only can I say this? This is 4 choose 2, because these are not in your hand, this is in your hand, these are fixed. So you need only 2 elements, because in a 2 cycle you need only 2 elements. So you need 4 choose 2. You can write in this manner, 4 choose 2, this is 4 into 3 upon 2. These are 6 elements. And you can write explicitly also. You can write this 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 2 3, 2 4, 3 4. So these are the 6 elements of this format. And if you remember the formula that you memorize, you can also use that one. But this will give you the naturally answer. So here are there are 6 elements of this format and 3 elements of this format. So you are having exactly 9 elements. So the correct answer will be 9. The last question of group theory section, question number 10. Let G be an element of S7 such that G commutes with the element 2 6 4 3. The number of such G is. So we have given the group S7 and they are asking the number of elements which are commuting with this 2 6 4 3 and rest are the 1 length cycles. So for that element they are asking nothing but the order of normalizer of 6 4 3, but they are asking in S7. So the normalizer gives the total number of elements in a group which commutes with this. For this you should need some practice. Immediately you cannot think in your examination. So for this question you need some preparation. Can I say this is nothing but order of S7 divided by order of class of F, because this gives the normalizer of this element. So you just divide your order of group with the order of class of F. This class of F is nothing but the number of elements which are conjugate to F. Or you can say in Sn, 2 elements are conjugate if and only if they have same cycle decomposition. So you just need to find this class, order of class of F. What is order of class of F? This is number of elements having same cycle decomposition as F. And the definition of class of F is nothing but all those elements which are conjugate to F. And this we have proved in our theory lecture. In Sn, 2 elements are commuting with each other if and only if they are conjugate. So the class of F will have total number of elements having same cycle decomposition of F. But we know that if 2 elements have same cycle decomposition, you can count those elements. Here your representation of F is 1 4 cycle and 3 1 cycles. So you can use the formula that we have given in our theory lecture. So the total number of such elements will be 7 factorial upon 1 to the power 3 into 4 factorial. So you will have this. Now this is one way for counting. If you are not happy with this, you can go with the combinatorics argument. Okay, sorry, here I should have written 4 to the power 1 into 3 factorial. So you will get 3 factorial upon 24. So this is one argument by using the formula. You know how to count the number of elements of this with this cycle decomposition. And there is another argument. What is this? You have 7 symbols. Suppose 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So you need to fix 4 elements here. You need to fix 4 elements here, and you have fixed one element like here. So these you have to count the total number of choices like this. So what you do, you just choose any 4 elements. So you are having 7 choose 4 ways for choosing any 4. You can choose any 4, and rest 3 you are fixing those elements. You are not touching those elements. So these are the total possible ways you are having. So this you will have 7 factorial upon 4 factorial into 3 factorial. So this you will have this, and but you observe one more thing. Out of this 4 cycles, what you can do, if in any 4 cycle, if you fix any one element and rotate other element or change any one element, you will get a new element. So in this 4 cycle you can play, but in this 3 a single element you cannot play. So you have to multiply with 3 factorial also. That you are getting why I am multiplying with 3. This is same as counting the total number of 4 cycles in S7. So you choose any 4 cycle, and in that 4 cycle you fix any element and rotate any other element, you will get always a new element. So the argument I have given already. So this is 3 factorial, so this is 7 factorial upon 4 factorial. So this is the formula way and this is the combinatorial way. So you can use whichever you like. If you remember the formula, you can use in your examination, but this will not give you any help further for higher studies. This will give you help. So you can use the combinatorial argument also. So this is the total number of elements whose cycle decomposition is like this. So you know the class of F. So you know this is 7 factorial. The order of S7 is 7 factorial. This is 7 factorial upon 4 factorial. So this you will get 4 factorial, and 4 factorial is 24. So the correct option will be A. Answer is 24. So I hope you understand each and every step of every problem. If still you are having any doubt, or if you have any problem in any solution, you can ask in the comment section. You can do WhatsApp me also. And if you have any suggestion for us, you are always welcome. Thanks for watching this solution series.